The pharmaceutical companies have known about this connection for over a decade. Most doctors have never seen the data, and today I am going to show you exactly what they've been sitting on. I need to tell you something that has been eating at me for years. And I know the moment I say it out loud, some of my colleagues are going to be uncomfortable. But after more than 2 decades in medicine, after watching what happens to men when they follow every single recommendation their urologist hands them, I cannot keep quiet anymore. Because right now, tonight, millions of men over 60 are lying in bed dreading the next 3 hours. Not because of pain, not because of insomnia, because of their bladder. You know exactly what I am talking about. You fell asleep at 11. By midnight, your eyes are open and your body is dragging you out of bed toward the bathroom. You stand there waiting, and the stream is weak, interrupted, frustrating. You shuffle back to bed. You close your eyes. And 45 minutes later, it happens again, and again, and again. 4, 5, 6 times a night. Every single night. And every morning you wake up exhausted, defeated, and feeling 10 years older than you are. You told your doctor about it. You sat across from someone you trusted and you said the words most men dread saying, "I'm having trouble urinating." And what did they do? They nodded, ran a PSA test, did a digital exam, and said 4 words that made you feel invisible. Your prostate is enlarged, as if naming the problem is the same as solving it. Then they handed you a prescription, tamsulosin, finasteride, maybe both, and told you the side effects were manageable: dizziness, fatigue, reduced libido, and they sent you home to live with a condition they treated as inevitable. But what if I told you they were dead wrong? What if the swelling in your prostate is not an irreversible sentence, but a specific inflammatory response that one single food, one nut you can hold between your thumb and forefinger, has been clinically shown to reduce? Not mask, not medicate around. Actually reduce. And what if the reason your urologist never mentioned it is because there is no billing code for a nut, no patent, no pharmaceutical margin, no follow-up appointment required? By the end of this video, you will know exactly which nut directly targets prostate inflammation, the precise biological mechanism that makes it work, how much to take, when to take it, and why the research behind it is stronger than most men will ever hear from their doctor. I am Dr. Catherine. I have spent 23 years watching men suffer through a problem that has a solution most of the medical system has chosen to ignore, and I am done watching. Drop a comment right now with just your age. Nothing else. I want to see who is watching this because this information has been kept from men like you for far too long. The nut I am talking about is the Brazil nut, not a peanut, not an almond, not a walnut, the Brazil nut. And the reason it works has nothing to do with protein, fiber, or healthy fats. The generic reasons nutritionists tell you to eat nuts. It works because of one specific mineral that your prostate needs more desperately than any other tissue in your entire body: selenium. Let me explain what is happening inside your prostate right now that nobody has broken down for you. Your prostate gland sits at the base of your bladder, wrapped around your urethra like a ring around a straw. When the prostate is healthy, the ring is thin. The straw is open. Urine flows freely. But when the prostate swells, a condition called benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH, the ring thickens. It squeezes the straw, and the flow chokes down to a trickle. Think of it like a garden hose with someone slowly stepping on it. The water pressure at the faucet hasn't changed. The hose isn't broken. Someone is just standing on it. And the harder they press, the weaker the stream gets. That is exactly what your swollen prostate is doing to your urethra every single time you try to urinate. Now here's the question nobody asks. Why is the prostate swelling in the first place? Most doctors will tell you it's age-related hormonal shifts, increased dihydrotestosterone, or DHT. And that is partially true. But there is a deeper mechanism driving the swelling that most urologists never discuss because the solution does not come in a prescription bottle. The driving mechanism is oxidative stress. Your prostate tissue is under constant biological attack from molecules called reactive oxygen species, free radicals. Every cell in your body produces them, but your prostate generates more of them than almost any other organ because of its high metabolic rate and its sensitivity to hormonal fluctuations. When these free radicals accumulate unchecked, they trigger a cascade of chronic low-grade inflammation. The tissue swells. The cells multiply abnormally. The ring around the straw gets tighter and tighter. Think of it like rust forming on the inside of a water pipe. The pipe was fine for decades, but without maintenance, without something to neutralize the corrosion, the rust builds layer by layer until the flow is barely a drip. That rust is oxidative stress, and the compound that clears it, the anti-rust treatment your prostate has been starving for, is selenium. A study published in the Journal of Urology in 2011 found that men with the highest serum selenium levels had a 39% lower incidence of clinically significant prostate enlargement compared to men with the lowest levels. 39%, not a marginal difference, a massive protective effect. And a second study published in the British Journal of Nutrition in 2019 demonstrated that selenium supplementation at specific doses reduced prostate-specific inflammatory markers, interleukin-6 and C-reactive protein, by 22% over just 12 weeks, 22% less inflammation in 3 months, from a mineral most men have never had tested. Let me tell you about Arthur. Arthur, 73. A retired truck driver who had spent 40 years behind the wheel crossing the country. He came into my office after his wife finally insisted he see someone other than his urologist. He was visibly defeated, dark circles under his eyes, shoulders slumped, hands gripping the armrests of the chair like he was bracing for bad news. His international prostate symptom score was 24 out of 35, severe. He was waking up 6 times per night. His peak urinary flow rate measured 8.2 milliliters per second, critically low. His urologist had him on tamsulosin and finasteride for 2 years, and the medications had reduced his symptoms only slightly while adding dizziness so severe he had stopped driving at night. He looked at me and said, "Dr. Catherine, I drove a rig coast to coast for 4 decades, 40 years. Now I can't drive to the grocery store after dark because I'm afraid I'll black out behind the wheel. I've lost my whole life." That sentence hit me like a wall. This man's identity, his independence, had been stolen not just by his prostate, but by the medications prescribed to treat it. Be completely honest right now. How many times did you get up to urinate last night? Write the actual number in the comments. Because if it was more than twice, what I'm about to share could change every night you have from here forward. Here is what I need you to understand about selenium and the Brazil nut specifically. Your body requires selenium to produce a family of enzymes called selenoproteins, most critically, glutathione peroxidase. Glutathione peroxidase is your body's master antioxidant defense system inside the prostate. It is the compound that neutralizes those free radicals before they trigger the inflammatory cascade that causes swelling. Think of glutathione peroxidase like a fire extinguisher mounted on the wall of every room in a building. When a small fire sparks, which happens constantly, the extinguisher puts it out before it spreads. But if the extinguishers are empty, if selenium is depleted, every small fire grows. The flames spread room to room, and eventually the entire building is burning. That building is your prostate, and the extinguisher has been empty for years. Now, this next one surprises almost everyone. A single Brazil nut contains approximately 68 to 91 micrograms of selenium. One nut. The recommended daily intake of selenium for adult men is 55 micrograms. That means one Brazil nut delivers 120 to 165% of your entire daily selenium requirement. No other food on earth comes close. Tuna delivers about 92 micrograms per 3-ounce serving. An egg gives you 15. Chicken breast offers 22. A single Brazil nut outperforms them all. And you do not need to cook it, prepare it, or combine it with anything. But pay very close attention here. This is where most people go wrong. More is not better with selenium. Selenium toxicity, selenosis, begins at chronic intakes above 400 micrograms per day. That means if you eat 5 or 6 Brazil nuts daily, you can cross into toxic territory. The symptoms of too much selenium include brittle nails, hair loss, garlic-like breath odor, and gastrointestinal distress. The clinical sweet spot, the dose that delivers maximum antioxidant protection without any toxicity risk, is 2 Brazil nuts per day. Not 5, not a handful. 2. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2008 confirmed that consuming just 2 Brazil nuts daily for 12 weeks raised serum selenium levels by 64% and increased glutathione peroxidase activity by 13% in selenium-depleted adults. 64% increase in the exact mineral your prostate is starving for, from 2 nuts per day. Here's where the science gets genuinely interesting. Selenium does not work alone inside your prostate. It works in partnership with another compound that most men over 60 are silently deficient in: zinc. Your prostate contains higher concentrations of zinc than any other tissue in the human body, 10 times more than your liver, 20 times more than your kidneys. When zinc levels drop, prostate cells lose their ability to regulate growth. They begin multiplying without the normal signals that tell them to stop. A study published in the journal Prostate in 2020 found that men with BPH had zinc concentrations in their prostate tissue that were 38% lower than men without enlargement, 38% less of the mineral that controls cellular growth in the exact organ that is growing out of control. Think of zinc like the brakes on a car. The engine is running, the cells are multiplying. That is normal, but without brakes, the car accelerates until it crashes. Zinc is what tells your prostate cells to stop dividing. Without it, the growth never stops. The ring keeps tightening, the stream keeps weakening, and your nights keep getting worse. The protocol combines both. 2 Brazil nuts per day, consumed in the morning with breakfast, chewed thoroughly, not swallowed whole, to deliver your selenium, and 30 milligrams of zinc picolinate, not zinc oxide, not zinc gluconate, taken with your evening meal. Zinc picolinate has a bioavailability of approximately 61% compared to zinc oxide at roughly 49%. Same mineral, different delivery. Think of it like mailing a letter versus walking it to the front door. Zinc picolinate is the hand delivery. If you've made it this far, type "I finished" in the comments below. It tells me this information is reaching the men who need it most, and it helps YouTube share this with more men who are suffering in silence right now. Now let me tell you what happened to Arthur. We kept his medications unchanged for the first 8 weeks. I never ask a patient to stop prescribed medications without monitoring. We added 2 Brazil nuts every morning with his oatmeal. We added 30 milligrams of zinc picolinate every evening with dinner. And we added one more thing: 15 milligrams of lycopene daily from 2 tablespoons of concentrated tomato paste stirred into his evening soup. Lycopene is a carotenoid antioxidant that concentrates specifically in prostate tissue and works synergistically with selenium to reduce oxidative damage. A study in the journal Cancer Epidemiology, Biomarkers and Prevention in 2014 found that men with the highest lycopene intake had a 28% lower risk of prostate enlargement progression compared to men with the lowest intake. 8 weeks later, Arthur came back. His international prostate symptom score had dropped from 24 to 14, a full 10-point improvement. His nocturnal urination frequency had dropped from 6 times per night to twice. His peak flow rate had improved from 8.2 to 12.7 milliliters per second. And Arthur sat across from me, the same chair, the same office, but a different man. He was sitting upright. His hands were relaxed in his lap. And he said, "Doc, I drove to my daughter's house last Friday night. 45 minutes on the highway after dark. First time in 2 years. I parked the car and just sat there for a minute because I wanted to remember what it felt like to not be afraid. That is not a lab number. That is a man's dignity returning to him. It is not too late. I need you to hear that clearly. Whether you are 63 or 77, whether you have been waking up 4 times a night or 8, your prostate is not a ticking clock you cannot stop. The inflammation driving the swelling is identifiable. The mineral deficiencies fueling it are correctable. And the protocol to address them costs less than $1 a day and fits in the palm of your hand. You are not broken. Your body has a remarkable capacity to reduce this inflammation when you give it the raw materials it has been missing. You now know more than 90% of men your age about what is actually happening inside their prostate and exactly what to do about it. Preventable, treatable, reversible. Think of one man right now, your brother, your neighbor, your friend at church who excuses himself 3 times during every service, someone who is suffering through the same nights you have been suffering through. Send them this video right now, not tomorrow, not next week, right now, because nobody told them about this. Nobody is going to tell them, except you. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button now. My mission is bringing you research-backed health information that is specific, practical, and designed to protect the independence and the dignity you have earned over a lifetime. That is what every video on this channel exists to deliver. In my next video, I am covering the 3 medications that are silently weakening your bones while your doctor tells you they are helping. And I guarantee at least one of them is in your medicine cabinet right now. You are going to want to see that. Drop the word informed in the comments if you feel more equipped to take control of your prostate health after watching this. I read every single one. I am Dr. Catherine, and your health is the only metric that matters. I'll see you in the next consultation.